Welcome to the Market Report. It's Blake with Trade Tracer. In this video, I'm going to break down how I am reading this market and how I'm approaching it this week. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. As always, none of this is financial advice. Always trade and invest at your own risk. So I have the SPY pulled up here on a daily time frame, and we can see that on Friday, we actually closed above the cloud, which from my classification is technically no trend. If we can get a close above Friday's high, that would constitute an uptrend, and I would start getting more aggressively long in this market. One thing that I noticed that was significant is this anchored VWAP. This is from the year to date. So this is from January 4th. This is the year to date anchored VWAP. And you can see on Thursday, we pretty much tested it perfectly, held the 50-day moving average and held the VWAP, and then ripped higher into Friday. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Qs. The NASDAQ is still showing relative weakness, so I'm not too focused on tech setups just yet. Ideally, I would like to see the NASDAQ get back above this cloud. This is the 50-day moving average right here, right around that 321 level. And in order for me to get aggressively long, I'll show you some of the levels that I have drawn in here. And if you follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen some of these levels. But to get aggressively long, I would like to see us start to close above this 324.50 level. Above this 324.50, in my classification, that is price strength confirmation and would get me aggressively long this market. And potentially, we would hope to see the NASDAQ play catch up to some of the other indexes like the S&P and the Dow Diamonds. So above this 324.50, I think we do come back here and make a run back to 338. So keep a very close eye on that. However, we first have to deal with this 316.50 level. So this past week, the 316.50 and this 310 level was a really big chop zone that we had been trading in. So this was very difficult trading this past week, very difficult to swing anything. And if you remember in our group, when we go into no trend and downtrend, our number one priority is preservation of capital and year-to-date gains. So if you're not trading this, congrats to you, right? We want to be trading when the odds are in our favor and when the momentum is on our side as well. And right now, we really don't have either one of those. It's kind of a 50-50 odds right here on the NASDAQ. Now, the positive sign, though, is I did see the S&P hold that VWAP in this cloud and close higher on Friday. So I am more bullishly biased, but I would like to see NASDAQ get above this 316.50, back above this cloud 321, and then to get aggressively long, when I say press, I mean aggressively long, we need to get some price back above this 324.50 level. That's pretty much how I'm reading this. So what is leading the market? Well, the Dow is still leading. If you're still swing long from this 316.50 level, you're still getting paid. So congrats to everybody who is still swing long the Dow. A couple indexes that I've been watching very closely and some sectors I've been watching very closely is, first off, the transports. The transports are leading. Okay, so this is very bullish. This is Dow theory of when the transports are leading, we're looking in good shape. So keep a close eye on the transports still making new highs. So things like Union Pacific, UNP has a positive setup. I like that setup, so keep a close eye on UNP. And then some of the other ones that I'm looking at are the home builders. So XHB is looking very strong, and if you're watching this is going to be on our playbook for Monday, so congrats to anybody who's watching this. This is going to be one of the trade setups for the playbook on Monday. But this is a bull flag breakout. XHB looks very, very strong. If we go and look at the higher time frames like the weekly, you can see we're picking up momentum. Again, we're picking up some steam, making this thrust higher with this MACD also confirming that price moving higher. So this past week was a very powerful candle, so I would still look for the home builders to continue to outperform. So names like Lowe's, we had a trade on this back around this 380 or 180 level. You can see it's already ripped over 11 points, so that paid us very nicely. Things like Home Depot also looking very strong as well. But I don't want to get too into some of the setups for this week. I really want to go over the market. Baidu looked really, really ugly this past week. We had a trade on Baidu on a break below this 236.84. Got paid very nicely on Thursday and Friday, gave you an opportunity to scale. If you're still holding this one, be very, very careful. This could squeeze easily back up to this level and maybe even back up to this 250 level, especially if we start to see some rotation back into the tech sector. Also, one of the things that I'm looking is semis. So semiconductors also looking, showing some relative strength. Not the relative strength that we have seen in the transports. However, in the tech sector, I think this is probably the area in the tech sector that's probably going to outperform when tech starts to play catch up. So keep a close eye on this SOXX. This is hanging out in this 10, 50-day moving average, and we're back above the anchored VWAP from the high, from these pivot highs back here. So keep a close eye on SOXX or SMH. I do like both of those heading into this week. Now let's get into the bonds. All right, so bonds, we have known that this has kind of been the Achilles heel to this market. You can see big downtrend that started back here in August of 2020. Never really got back above this cloud. You can see this has just been a major downtrend. Two things that I notice here. We have new lows. So we've got this low right here from here to here. So new lows without MACDs. And when I say without MACD, I mean this momentum indicator was lower here than it is here. So this is bullish divergence. So new lows without MACD, bullish divergence. It makes sense to see a rip after that happen, right? But you can see we did come back to this level right here, this 139, which has been some sort of resistance level. So keep a close eye on bonds, guys. We got to still keep an eye on this. I know we want to see the market continue to perform well, but we definitely got to keep an eye on the TLT and the bonds. All right, so two more things. Let's cover some crypto. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just barely back above that cloud, but no real momentum. We could chop sideways for some time and gather some momentum. Like I said last week, hasn't really moved since last week. And the reason that is because we don't have a ton of momentum. When Bitcoin gets momentum, this thing will rip. All right, so right now, really no new trade. If I was to put a new trade on, it would likely be above this 58.3 level. And if I wanted to be a little more patient, back above the highs for price range confirmation, right around that 61, 62,000 level, I would take an interest in adding some more long market exposure in Bitcoin. Levels to the downside that I'm watching, if we break below this level right here, we likely come back lower. If we break below 50,000, all right, so just keep that level 50,000. We break below that, very high odds we come back and test 47. If we lose that, also, once again, very high odds that we come back and test 41, 42 area. So keep a close eye on this Bitcoin. Ethereum, similar setup, not quite as strong. You can see we have kind of somewhat of a wedge pattern. We have a lower high here and a higher low from here. So definitely one of my least favorite trading setups. So not really looking to do much here except hold what I have versus my stops. Looking for a new entry. I'll be looking above this 1930 level for a new add for a new swing position, new long position. All right, so just to wrap up once again, the S&P is showing relative strength over the NASDAQ. So our focus is going to be what's leading the market. The Dow is the strongest, so anybody who's still long this Dow is still getting paid. Those calls are still working very nicely. And the Qs are lagging. So for what I'm watching for the Qs, and this is my favorite sector to trade because when it does get momentum, we really capitalize on that momentum. A couple levels we need to watch, 316.51, and then back above this cloud, 321, and I'll press long above 324.50. Those are your levels. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to help you make some help you make some better decisions coming this week. If you like this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and also follow me on Twitter. Take care, guys. See you on Monday.